favourite Premier, Daniel Andrews, defends his criticism from being in the Chinese military day parade. Daniel Andrews, you know him, you love him. Victorians, I know you guys miss him because you wish COVID was back in full swing and you were locked down in your homes with your cozy little TVs on, watching the news, telling you to be scared. I know you guys miss it. You can still go to the chemist and go to the doctor and go and get a jab. Don't worry. You can wear a mask if you like. It's a bit hard to drink your soy latte through a mask, I know, but you can just maybe Zoom or Skype your way into work or school. I know you guys miss it down in Victoria. That's why you keep voting for these morons in the government down there. Former Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews defends criticised China Military Day parade. Former Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews has finally addressed his decision to attend a military parade again, alongside Russian President Vladimir Putin, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. In a statement on Thursday, Daniel Andrews defended his decision to attend, saying that the nurturing and constructive relationship with China was in Australia's national interest. I was being invited to Beijing in the 80th anniversary of China's victory over Japan in World War II, he said. I've said for years that the constructive relationship with China, our largest trading partner, is Australia's national interest, and hundreds of thousands of Australian jobs depend on it. That hasn't changed. It was a chance to meet and engage with regional leaders, former New Zealand Prime Minister John Key and Helen Clark, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, and of course Chinese President Xi. We also shared an official photograph. He also condemned Mr. Putin for Russia's continued involvement in the illegal war in Ukraine. And just so there's no confusion, I've condemned Putin his illegal war in Ukraine from day one. That's why he banned me from Russia last year, he said. Maybe he banned you because he's sick of you going under there and hiding under his desk trying to give him a fucking blowy. Further, my support from Israel and Australia's Jewish community has been outspoken and unwavering, and I unequivocally condemn Iran for its attacks on Australia, Israel, and elsewhere around the world. Then why were you rubbing shoulders with their dictator? Mr. Andrews' behaviour received wide criticism. The crossbencher Jackie Lambie questioning whether he damaged his head when he famously fell down the stairs in his holiday home 4 years ago. Jackie Lambie's just as bad as Daniel Andrews. I'd say. Maybe not just as bad, but she's damaged in the head herself. Mr. Andrews, who once house shared with Anthony Albanese, while filmed shaking hands with Xi Jinping, has even posed for photos with some of the world's most ruthless autocrats, including North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Why would you go out and put yourself in that sort of situation when you've been a premier? I don't understand, Senator Lambie told Sky News on Thursday. It's just stupidity. She went on to say Home Affairs should go through him or the fine-tooth comb. Yes, they should. I wouldn't think I'd say it, but I agree with Lambie there. They need to go through him, check every single receipt that man has. They need to find out where his money comes from. They need to find out where his money goes. They need to find out who has been greasing the wheel with Daniel Andrews. I have to ask, when I fell down the stairs, not only did he damage his back, but did he damage something in his head, she quipped. Former New South Wales Premier Bob Carr also travelled to Beijing for commemorations. Unlike Mr. Andrews, Mr. Carr, also a former foreign minister, did not attend the parade event in Tiananmen. It's in Tiananmen Square. It's in Tiananmen Square. That's insane. I didn't know that. But did take tea with diplomats and Chinese officials at an event marking the anniversary. For one, we're allies with Japan. Really good allies, locked together. Not allied with Kim Jong. Not allied with Vladimir. Is that the Iranian Prime Minister or whatever? Wherever he is there. I don't know. We're not allies with them either, but all over here, look at that, you got Dan Andrews with his greasy little fucking face sitting there, smug as can be. And you're there to celebrate them beating Japan in World War I. Okay, in Tiananmen Square. Anyone remember what happened in Tiananmen Square? A little while ago now. There's a very good video of it. There's a few documentaries. Maybe you should look it up. Someone send Dan Andrews a doco on Tiananmen Square. Maybe some college students and some tanks. I don't know. What do you reckon? I have to ask when he fell down the stairs, blah, blah, blah. Unlike Mr. Andrews, Carr former foreign prince. Yeah, so Mr. Carr said he went to China for the same kind of event and declined meeting all the dictators of the modern era. Probably a good idea, Mr. Carr. While Labor has kept quiet on the pair of China's jaunt, the coalition has unleashed with Liberal Senator Jane Hume saying it shows a lack of judgment. It was clearly a sign of military might, to display military quite threatening in its intentions, and he was standing alongside with some of the most unsavoury characters from right around the world, the Victorian Senator told Channel 9 News. He had a diplomatic support. I think it'd be an issue when he went there as a private citizen or not. I think it just shows a lack of judgment. Meanwhile, Susan Ley called Anthony Albanese to come out and show moral clarity and call out his former housemate. I know that Prime Minister Daniel Andrews has been close, she told Sky, after they worked together on a strategy leading to the election campaign. Old flatmates stick together. You know that's not the only type of meat that he puts in buns, right? God, yeah, those two people are just the worst people. Opposition leader said Mr. Albanese needs to demonstrate moral clarity here and actually call out Daniel Andrews for being just a few feet away from dictators and deposits of the Chinese parade that the Chinese Communist Party demonstrated its military strength. So they're demonstrating how easily they think that they could, reach out and touch Australia in the outbreak of, say, World War III or even Taiwan. That's what they're there to show. Look how strong our military is. Anytime Australia has some sort of military parade, Daniel Andrews cracked the shits about it. Anzac Day, Victorian government banning Anzac Day parades down Victoria, shutting down people for celebrating our military heritage. And, Australia wouldn't be Australia without World War One. That was when we grew into an independent country. But, Daniel Andrews, locked them down and shut them down and boasted about how, racist and bigoted people like that are. And then he goes to China and Tiananmen Square, nonetheless, and watches a military parade with the world's biggest evil dictators. Shows where his priorities are. As private citizens, both Andrews and Carr were free to attend without Canberra's sign-off, and the Newswire understands that Albanese government was not consulted. Fronting press on Wednesday, Mr. Albanese was asked to be minded that Mr. Andrews was being in Beijing with the leaders of China, North Korea and Russia. He's not meeting them, he replied. Australia's ambassador to China, Scott Dwyer, did not attend. Newswire understands that the envoy was invited but declined, in somewhat of a snub considering Australia sent a minister to the last major anniversary parade a decade ago. The Australian Embassy Defence Attaché and the Political Council went to this place. Speaking of the ABC radio Thursday, Mr. Kahar revealed he pulled out of the parade once he learnt the nature of it. Good job. Probably a smart thing to do. The Consul General in April might have mentioned that there was going to be a parade, but the nature of the parade didn't become clear, he said. When it did, I let the Chinese ambassador know I would not attend it. He said he was not interested in Soviet-era military parade. Good idea. Well, the pomp and ceremony on Wednesday could have gone to toe-to-toe with the Red Square Victory Day parades at the height of the Cold War. There's nothing Soviet about the military hardware on display. Literally is. They're all commies. Andrews is a commie. Albo's a wannabe commie Marxist. The show of might was undeniable. Thousands of soldiers marching perfectly in sync under the hot sun as the state-of-art warplanes, tanks and missile system rolled through central Beijing. Present too was China's Dongfang 5 missile, a liquid-fueled intercontinental strategic nuclear missile capable of striking the US and exactly the kind of firepower Prime Minister and Defence Minister Richard Marles referred to earlier this year as he said China's nuclear build-up was driving security anxiety in Australia. Now, yes, he's a private citizen. Should he be going to those things? No. If you get invited to an ISIS wedding, Daniel Andrews is probably already there. Would you go? Like you're a private citizen, but we're paying for you to go there and drink tea with world dictators and shake the hands of these people. Like, honestly, Putin's probably the least evil person there, and he is a fucking evil person. At least he says what he's doing. At least he's, he doesn't care what other people think enough. Xi is doing some of the most heinous things on the planet right now. Some of them are worse than what Kim Jong's doing. It's The only reason they're worse than that is because he's got a pocketbook behind him. Kim Jong can barely, well, he's well fed, but his people aren't even fed. The level of evil in this photo is insane. And to even think that it would be okay, like, why was he invited anyway? Like, what kind of relationship do you have with these people? What did you do? Why are you friends with them? How are you friends with these people? Like, that's insane that you are invited to that. A premier from Australia, Victoria, which is basically communist China, was invited to go there. We'll have a look at who was there. Close this down. So we got Prabro Sabatina, Indian Prime Minister, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Peng Luan, First Lady, Kim Jong, Kasim, President of Kazakhstan, Zara Peshkin, the Iranian president's daughter, Masoud Peshkin, the president of Iran, Sidi, I'm not even trying to say that, president of Turkmenistan, Ilham Aliyev, president of Azerbaijan, vice president of the First Lady of Azerbaijan, the Turkish Energy Natural Resources UN Undersecretary, Turkish Foreign Affairs Minister, First Lady of Romania, that's a bit weird, Chief Foreign Policy of Brazilian President. So it's Romania, Brazil, Romania again, armed forces from a Southeast Asian country sparked the outcry announces. What? Hazim Bol Hassan, the commander of the Royal Brunei Armed Forces, the small Southeast Asian country, sparked an outcry when it was announced in 2019 sodomy, adultery, and rape would be punished with death, including stoning. Daniel Andrews, look at that. Look at the list of names. And then it's Daniel Andrews. That doesn't make sense. He needs to be investigated. The Australian Federal Police need to comb through everything that man's ever done, ever said, and ever bought or ever sold. He needs to be investigated. We're spending like nearly $500,000 a year on his pension, giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars for him to go around and rub hands and probably glorify these dictators and murderers. It's insane. Yeah, that's right. That's the dude there. Yeah. All right. So, what are you doing, Daniel? Go home. What do you guys think? This is weird. Like, I mean, you read the list of names. Like, I can't even pronounce half of them. And then you've got Daniel Andrews, Hazim Boy Hassan, Daniel Andrews, Laureano Facundo Ortelo Murillo, I'm guessing, son of Nicaraguan authoritarian leader, Daniel Ortega. Oh my God. This country, the Nicaraguan and the Western Hemisphere is equivalent to North Korea. And then you've got Daniel Andrews there. He fits right in. Don't get me wrong. I get it. He fits in. It's not bread and butter, but what was he thinking? He's obviously not ashamed to be around those people. He's standing there getting a photo with them and he's smiling like the greasy little weasel that he is. He needs to be investigated. I don't know about you, but I think they really need to look into him. And it's not a good look for the Australian people. I mean, imagine if Trump went to that meeting. Can you imagine the headlines? Imagine the people having a conniption and their brains exploding. It would just be, he's an authoritarian, he's a dictator, he's promoting all these dictators. They lost their shit when he went and talked to Putin about trying not to start World War III. It's literally his job, not Dan Andrews' job. Never was his job. He's a premier. Definitely not his job now. He's a private citizen. And he's there at, like, if there was a 007 movie where all, Dr. Evil, Dr. Evil in the middle and then, his evil consort, that's what it is. And Daniel Andrews is there as their little pole bearer. I don't know. That's insane. What a crowd. What a photo. We should get it framed. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think, and I'll argue with you in the comments. If you have a valid point, I'll argue with you. If you say something stupid, I'll argue with you anyway. Let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.